ASADI, Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovation. As the name signifies, the objective of ASADI as a school is to create an environment of education that is free of all shackles of preconceived notions and beliefs. The students are encouraged to express their own philosophy, thus motivating them to be a free thinker. The guiding principle of this institution is to produce competent professionals with a passion for being useful to the society. From ASADI, joining us we have architect B.R. AJIT and Mrs. Ammu Santhosh, CEO of ASADI. Architect AJIT has spearheaded the flood relief organization in the then Madras city of Tamil Nadu in 1975 during his student days as university convener. He also received the National Best Director Award for 2 consecutive years at Mardi Gras, organized annually by IIT Madras. Professionally, he is specialized in the utilization of solar energy in architecture. He launched his own architecture firm, MS Ajit Associates in Cochin in the year 1978. He is a consultant architect to various prestigious organizations like KHS, Kerala Housing Board, Department of Tourism, Government of Kerala, and so many other organizations. For any questions and queries regarding the college, kindly take note of the details provided on screen. Now invite CEO Mrs. Ammu Santhosh to present the college. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, a very good evening to all the boys and girls and who are all aspiring to become great architects of tomorrow. My name is Ammu Santhosh. I am the CEO of Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovations. So I welcome you all to ASADI. And the college is actually situated on a small piece of island in the heart of Cochin City. Today we have a small presentation that we have made for you, and I hope you all enjoy it. Before that, I would also like to introduce you to Architect Professor B.R. Ajit, who is the Chairman of Asian School of Architecture and Design. He is going to be running through the details of the college with you along the presentation. So I hope you enjoy it.
After graduating as an architect from the School of Architecture and Planning, which was part of the then Madras University, Architect Professor B.R. Ajit tried to transmit his ideas into various architecture colleges, where he had the opportunity to be a member of the visiting faculty and also in the position of Professor Emeritus. However, it did not bring in the desired results. For this reason, he had always dreamt of starting an architecture college, applying all his thoughts about architecture education. Finally, he could realize his dream when he started ASADI, Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovations, as an initiative of ABR Foundation, which is a family trust of his, in the year 2013.
Inclusion is a right. It is a conviction, not a privilege for a selected few. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of innovation, and freedom of living. ASADI, the ultimate freedom of exploration. This is where the motto and values of the Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovation proves its worth.
Good evening, my young friends who are keen to join architecture. I'm extremely happy to be in your midst to talk about ASADI, Asian School of Architecture and Design Innovations. In fact, even while I was studying and finishing studies and started my own architecture firm, AJIT Associates, I always thought there is a need to change the attitude for architecture education. In my own case, I would like to tell you, I studied in a college in Chennai and passed out about 44 years back. And after that, it took me about 15 years to get out of the clutches of my design thinking and attitude of my teachers. That is wrong. We should never do it. In fact, what we should do is, we should allow our students to think themselves, to develop their own ideas, to be of a attitude and thinking which will be out of box, which has never been thought out, especially in the present scenario where we are facing such a great climate problems and issues. We need to change out of box. We need to change our thinking attitudes. And this is what really made me think of starting a different school where our teachers do not sit on the head of the students. They don't prevail upon the thinking and attitude of the students. They do not tell them that this is what architecture and the other is not architecture. They tell them, they allow them to go on their field. Be just like a river, a beautifully flowing river, in which the water are the students, and the river, actually the sides of the river give you the direction to the students, and students flow themselves. We ensure. Otherwise, what happens is, basically from each school, the students come out to the school of thought. They're inheriting the school of thought of school. Here, we want every student who get out of school come out to their own school of thought. This is what we are trying to do. For this, we have created an excellent facilities here. And everything we do, because when we started the school, our college was already on and our students were already there. So when we started constructing and completed constructing, we involved students in every aspect of it. One of the most important aspects of the school, which I would like to take, like it was told, it is located in a beautiful island, connected with a private bridge. It's a private island also. Even though it's only 2.5 acres kept for the island, for the students, for the college, but the entire area around that, 30 to 40 acres is where people could go around the evening, beautiful forest-like feeling is what you're trying to create there. So the mind will expand, the thinking can expand. They have much more chances to interact and involve with all the teachers and faculty members. And that is what we are trying to do. We have created a specific, a very, very special, a studio for us. This studio, if you talk to them, this studio is what we call as a green studio, because today the game is green, nothing more than green. So we have created a green studio where you use all green, green materials for constructing this studio. And this studio, I'm happy to inform you, was the first green studio in Asia which had received the highest platinum rating of 87 points. So you will see in the next slot our studios and also another studio called Bargain Studio. And also you will see how we have used bamboo, how we have used a body called tensile fabric to keep it always alive, light up in the morning time till the evening. You don't need any artificial lighting. These sort of things is what we are trying to create here. And you will please have a look at our next.
Unlike conventional concepts of architecture, ASADI not only encourages sustainability in architecture, it thoroughly practices and incorporates it within the campus. Situated in the heart of Kochi,
Yes, as I said earlier, as our name indicates, Asad or Asadi is in many Indian languages and South Asian languages, it is the word for freedom. We strongly believe architecture, as you would know very well, it's a creative science. Like many other creative science, like painting, sculpturing, music, or even to the literature, writing novels, poetry, all these creative sciences. You should know that why the creative sciences are different from other sciences, which are life sciences. The difference is simply for creative sciences, you use the right lobe of your brain. And the right lobe, unlike the left lobe, it can be really made to work well only by motivation. One of the most important things about motivation is freedom. So we give them all the freedom to think for a freedom for attitude, freedom for design, and this is what we very much importance we give, and that is how we are able to bring out a set of students who are free in their thinking, who are given all the facilities for a free thinking, and excellent. We provide also, we saw earlier, even for the, we had what we call as a multi-studio complexes we have, so that people can interact, the seniors and juniors can interact. This is what we are trying to do in the college.
The biggest highlight of the ASADI approach to architecture is freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and freedom of innovation for students and faculty.
Yes, India had a great tradition of education. The largest and the best universities in the world once situated in India, the Nalanda and Takshashila universities, which all changed after the Britishers came, and they put us into a small cabin, a small room, and tell that this is where you study. And all these education systems were what we call monologue. That means somebody stands on a stage or in front of a blackboard and talk. That's called monologue. But as far as Indian tradition is concerned, we always talked about dialogue. Actually, this dialogue was possible because of the Gurukula system, where the students could sit around a teacher, and teacher would put in their knowledge, and they would dialogue, they will discuss. So our entire concept of this thing is we provide mentor. Every 10 students will have one mentor in the teacher, and also a professional mentor outside the college. So the mentor, the students are given all the mentorship so that they grow confident by the time they complete their 5 years. This is something what we do. And for this, the Gurukula system is something which is very, very important we have brought.
Another pioneering method of introduction of architecture for first-year students is the adoption of the Gurukula system of education. Learning from the masters, uncovering and enhancing the inborn creativity in budding students by freedom of thought and hands-on training. In this technique, individual attention is assured, and each student will have single mentor as well as a student mentor all through his education at ASADI.
conducted several workshops through last several years. Every workshop we ensure that it goes directly into the curriculum of the students who get interested, because now it is time that we just stop thinking about the existing traditional materials. We need to think differently. We need to think for new materials. So all these new materials are being tested in a college. Apart from this, as you will all agree with me, the most important thing today is that we need accommodation. Throughout the world, we have billions of people who are homeless. Are we architecture schools trying to do something about it? So we have brought in, as a part of practical training, probably the first time in the country, or this thing what we have brought in is we brought vertical studio between the second years and third years and started training them and giving them, and they on their own, of course, under the leadership of various architects and leaders in the sciences, including structural engineers, they started doing R&D, research and division, research and development. And this is a continuing program. Every 2 years, this will be their second and third years. And this is a continuing program. Our second program is just completed. And you wouldn't believe they're able to come out with excellent, unbelievable results. And the idea is that in another 10 of such operations, ASADI students will be able to come out with some of the best ideas for cost-effective, sustainable housing. Last year, I'm happy to inform you that a house designed by a young girl of second year, that design was selected by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan to construct about 100 houses, which they had to, which they did it and constructed and gave it to poor people after the Kerala floods. This is what has happened. And apart from that, some of the slides you saw last time also talked about our a major program, what we call as BOG, that is Board of Governance. Board of Governance is extremely important in an organization, because otherwise we go straight-jacketed. There's always a tendency to go straight-jacketed, thinking that this is what it should be. There should be nothing other than that. But we have created an excellent Board of Governance, some meeting you saw earlier. And this Board of Governance consists of people mainly from architecture, mainly from town planning, mainly from digital designing, and also people like Adru Gopalakrishnan, who is one of the top greatest cinematographer that India has ever seen, and also people like Ambassador P.P. Srinivasan. Why all these people? Because they all have to stick together. We have people who have created, George Paulson, who has created about 40 international patents in there. He's also a director of one of the colleges in New Jersey. So you will see some of the people like, and Professor Chris Johnson, who is actually from Sydney. He was the former new government architect, NSW architect, and former executive director of NSW Department of Planning. He was author of 14 books in architecture. And P.P. Srinivasan, he was a permanent representative to United Nations of America. And also he was a governor for India at the International Atomic Energy Agency, Vienna. We have Dr. Elisa Silva. She's an architect from Latin America. She's from Venezuela. She is also currently a consultant at the Latin American Development Bank and winner of several architecture competitions. I was talking about Professor George Paulson. Professor George Paulson is now presently the author of several scientific publications, and he's on an advisory board member to the Dean of Arts and Sciences at NJ School of at New Jersey Institute of Technology, USA. I already talked to you about Adru Gopalakrishnan. He is one of the very few people who has been given Dada Saheb Phalke Award and Padma Vibhushan, both of these things he had earlier. And he was also a great cinematographer. He won so many awards, Padma Bhushan including, Padma Vibhushan including, and he has been declared as the best director through many years. And he gives us a lot of ideas and concepts about better creativity. And Davina Jackson, Dr. Davina Jackson, she is also from Australia. She is a world leader in digital architecture. In association with her, with the support, we are coming out with a new postgraduate program called Astrospatial Architecture, which will start next year. And for this, we are getting support of ISRO. It's mainly a program based with the support of satellites. This is what we are going to do. And we also have architect Sara Udina. Sara Udina is again an internationally well-known architect from Barcelona, Spain. And she's also a member of the C40 Sustainable Urban Development Network and a volunteer judge for the Green Flag Award Scheme, which is in Europe. And we are so happy that such people are there. The most important thing is they all meet 1 week every year. Last year we had it in November in 2019. Before that we had in September 2018. 1 week all of them meet. We have what we call as a design festival, where all these people coming together. We discuss among ourselves how to improve the aspect, how to improve our facilities, how to improve the motivation for the students, and they all interact. As I said earlier, they had what we call the Indian tradition of Upanishad, sitting around the teacher. There all these people, and these people, students could teach around them. Similarly, we also have an excellent, a great BOS, that is border studies. The border studies consist of, again, prominent people. The most important being my own teacher, Professor Altaf Ahmad, who is the chairman of border studies. And then we have, of course, again from Englishman, Dr. David Leifer, and also Dr. Sunil Dubey, who is now the professor at Sydney University. We also have, everybody would have heard of Shahrukh Khan, Shahrukh Mistry. All of you have heard of Shahrukh Mistry, a great architect who is based in Bangalore. He's also on our board. We also have Sheila Prakash. She's an international architect, well known all over the world for her works. And also we have Professor T.M. Vinod Kumar, who is again well-known architect. He's also on the board of the Indonesian universities and other universities around the world. We also have architect Solomon Vedamuthu, who is a great trainer, who has trained hundreds and thousands of students to become architects, to join architecture schools and NIDs. It's very important. So I would like to show you our
An international board of governors formed to evolve and empower our students and faculties to global trends and to bridge the gap and find a balance between traditional and contemporary practices in multidisciplinary fields was formed at ASADI, consisting of eminent practitioners and academicians from reputed universities across the world. A board of studies, an inclusive panel of well-renowned architects, researchers and academicians from all over India, belonging to various disciplines and diversities of architecture, such as conservation, cost-effective architecture, housing, urban design, sustainability, etc., form a core committee to prepare and constantly evaluate and guide the academic structure of ASADI. International exchange programs, twinning programs, collaborations to launch a master's degree program in astrospatial architecture, etc., are a few initiatives in pipeline through the discussions of this board. Every year, the International Board of Governors and Board of Studies collaborate with ASADI and celebrate an entire design week of extensive discussions, workshops, cultural activities, talk series, vertical studios, and a lot more opportunities to explore, thus making this our unique culture at ASADI.
I'm also extremely happy to inform you that even though our school is relatively young, our first batch, we came out last year. And the first rank and the sixth rank of the Indian universities was from ASADI. That means what we try to do is, when we try to bring them a different type of education, this really shows our education is in the right direction. We are able to give the best of education on par with any colleges around the country. This is what we are trying to do. So we try to do this and we are able to create it. So we would like to have you at our first convocation when it was held. We had that time that our governor of Meghalaya, Sri Kumanam Daisharam was the chief guest. He was at that time the governor of Meghalaya. He was the chief guest, and we had these two girls. At that time, when we gave them, we got the best award for the best thesis, but we never knew at that time they are going to become the first and sixth ranker in this large NG university, which is one of the best reputed universities in the country. So we would like to show you some of that.
The first convocation of ASADI was conducted in 2019, with the chief guest being the former governor of Mizoram, Sri Kumanam Rajashekharan.
I think even by the time we completed fourth year, we have started getting awards from all over the world, not just from India. Some of the awards that we have got, some of the recognitions that we have got will vary, are several, and some of them are that we have been received awards for some of the excellent works which we have done, because our attitude, our approach to architecture was very different. It was not just online with any other school. So internationally, recognition became in our way. And recently, again, we also got awards and recognitions from different colleges, even from Oxford University. We had a recognition which we are very proud of, which I went and received in December 2019 at Oxford University. So I think we are very proud of that. And I think the world of education in architecture is now recognizing ASADI as a school with a difference, as a school with a new thinking, because our entire architecture education is based on concept. It's based on concept. It is not just education. It is not just studying from the books. It's a concept where you're trying to create what we call as a ready architect for the society. We have held several workshops, study workshops, during the last several years, and every workshop, as you can see, it has been taking you up on a ladder to higher levels of thinking and ideas and motivation, and finally taking you to success. So we have not missed out any area. In fact, we even had a workshop on acting. Why we did have an action? Because acting is extremely important, because your body movement, your body language, it's all very important when you become an architect. So we even had a workshop on acting, and we also had a workshop on photography, which of course, apart from the visual photography, which is part of our curriculum as an option, we also had a separate 3-day workshop for all students on photography. So these are the areas which we really did it. And we are also happy to inform that, we had an international workshop, lighting workshop, done by the International Lighting Foundation. They had conducted a 2-day workshop for the students to really understand how the lighting works and how it they got involved with the whole thing. They knew have a better thing. So workshops are a very important thing which we would like to show you.
friends, I hope you all enjoyed the presentation that we had here. I would also like to let you know that apart from all our academics, we are known as a campus with a rhythm. So which we do give importance to the other curricular activities. And one of which I would like to emphasize here is that we have an excellent football team, and our students last year won the championship for the All Kerala Architectural Institution. And finally, we have a very short presentation by our very own ASADians, and they would like to tell you a bit about the student life at ASADI. Enjoy and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for such a unique way of presenting your institution. It was
Thank
really
you, our pleasure. Our pleasure. I hope the aspiring architects enjoyed it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.